Hey guys, I'm Rogan and this is my rant. Welcome back to the channel. We believe in the diversity of thought here on this channel, and for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm glad you're here. So, what we're going to talk about today is something it's like a serious topic, and I'm not going to get too into the nitty-gritty details, but it's a reality that millennials are facing right now. Not just millennials, I mean Gen Z as well, but it's like the loss of family members and like how to prepare yourself and deal with it, because I didn't deal with it well certain times my life so far, but I've learned from my mistakes. And so if you like cool content like this, we like to talk about mental, physical, financial, and spiritual health on this channel. And this isn't meant to be concrete advice, because everybody's life experience, right, is different, and everyone has different levels of trauma and financial positions and stuff like that. So if you like content like that, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. So now, if you have parents above 50, this video is for you. So I've had a couple aunts and an uncle and a grandfather all pass away in the past, I'd say, decade or a little bit more or so. The one that hit me hardest the most was my uncle, and then after my grandfather. And I didn't really deal with it well, and I don't think anybody can deal with losing a family member that well. But it's a reality. We all have an expiration date. We're not going to live forever until science makes us immortal, which is a possibility in the future. I have no idea, but we all have an expiration date. And the thing is, I've said this before on this channel, but you can always make more money, but you can never get your time back, right? I'm 30 now, and yet a lot of people, they still consider that very young, and it's relatively young, relative to older people, like, relative to teenagers, it's old. But I digress. So what I'm saying is that, if you have family, if you have parents, the thing is, as a man or even a woman or whatever, but more so men, no one's coming to save you. No one really cares about you. You kind of have to remain on your own and be self-sufficient, and you have to really deal with your demons or your loneliness or your shortcomings or your insecurities, right? But people that have always been there for you are your parents. Now, you may have a few close friends, and you have grandparents that are still alive, and aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff like that. But as time goes on, people separate, and we're busy. We have less time for each other. But the people who always had and still have your back are your parents. They've always wanted what's best for you. They don't judge you. They don't. Well, maybe they do, But what's important is that you spend time with them and you learn as much as you can, because someday they're not going to be here anymore. And you're not going to have those two people, or in some cases one, if you come from a single parent household. I know times, and I know the current world can be pretty tough with that, and a lot of people deal with it. I have a friend who's, I don't know how he deals with it, but his parents got divorced from a young age. So, that's also a factor. But, as a man, the thing is, no one really cares about you, because if you look at all the self-improvement and like red pill content on YouTube, they say like, oh, well, men are the disposable sex and women are the protected sex and stuff like that. Like, women have their own challenges and stuff like that. But, a lot of men, modern men, they feel neglected and like disenfranchised, or they're not heard or understood. I know it doesn't work for everybody, but try therapy. You got to give it a chance. You can't just live in a bubble and be like, oh, it's not going to help, because with that mindset, yeah, you're right, it won't help. So, circling back, I'm going to get old someday, hopefully, because I'm trying to take better care of myself physically. But I'm 30. My 20s flew by. My 30s are going to go even faster. And if you're in your 30s, if you're somewhere in your 30s or your 40s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Time just flies super fast. And, one day you're going to wake up and you're only going to have one parent left. Or one day you're going to wake up and you're going to have no parents left. And your grandparents aren't going to be here. And your aunts or uncles are mostly passed away. And you'll have your friends and your cousins. But, if you don't have a partner, you're not going to have that same support structure, right? So you need to prepare yourself mentally to face those things. Now, Me personally, that's not going to happen to me anytime soon. But time goes by really fast, and that's why it's important to have community, like clubs, groups, or whatever. Your friends are gonna be there for you, but they're busy. They're doing their own thing, and the people who always have your back are your parents. So, to end this video, just take some time, call your parents, go visit them, ask if they need any help with anything, because that's gonna go a long way. They're gonna really appreciate that. They're always gonna love you, no matter if you're a drug addict or you're like the most perfect person or whatever, because they sacrificed a lot they wanted to give you a better life. So it's really important that you kind of like give back and stuff like that, and they'll appreciate it, and you'll feel good too. It's as simple as that. They may have given you a lot of advice, or they may have done things that aggravated you in the past, but they're human too. You're trying to figure out yourself when you're in your late 20s or your 30s, and you're like, oh, I feel so terrible about myself. I don't have anything figured out yet. Yeah? Well, when they were in their 20s and they had you, they were still trying to figure things out. So it's like if they made some mistakes along the way, they're just like you. They're human, So but they always have your back. At least mine always have had my back. So that little nugget of advice, take it or leave it. I really hope you enjoyed that rant. If you did, hit that like button, or smash that dislike if you didn't. Hit that subscribe button. It's free, and that notification bell. It might work, it might not. If you want to see more crazy videos from this crazy guy, I hope you have a great rest of the day. I'll see you next time.